I really can't keep track of the weeks anymore. So welcome to week 20 something. So I ran the Chicago Perfect 10 last week. That's a race in Chicago which had originally been rescheduled from the fall. It was supposed to be, I believe, in November. If you've seen any of the videos around that time, you probably heard a fair amount about how I was training for it, getting ready. I was psyched for it. It was going to be my first 10-mile race. And then about 2 days before, they canceled it, kind of for no reason, and ended up rescheduling it for this past weekend, April 9th. The Chicago Perfect 10 is actually two different races. There's a 10K and a 10-mile. I originally signed up for the 10-mile, but in light of the injuries that I've been having and kind of the limited training time, I didn't want to sign up for the 10-mile again, get close to the running date, and have to pull out because my injury was bothering me. Luckily, I've had almost no ankle pain at all, knock on wood, and I ran the 10K. What that means is that I was trying to go for a quicker pace, and I have to say, despite all the elements working against us, I got it. I ran it with two of my good friends, Sarah and Allie. We had a great time. They both ran the 10-mile. Sarah actually came in second total, which was amazing for the 10-mile. She ran something like around 7-minute, 30-second miles. But when I say the elements were bad, let me set it up for you. It was 25 degrees. We took off at 7:30 a.m. for the 10K, and the entire course was a sheet of ice. I have never ran in such treacherous weather before. It wasn't snowing, and it was actually worse. It had snowed about an inch and a half the night before, and what that meant was that everything was just starting to thaw, so you have a little bit of water on what's already an icy track. I don't know if there was a step I took where I didn't kind of lose ground with the push-off. It was just kind of every step was on and you slipped when you pushed off. I worked very hard, much harder than I've ran in a long time, but it paid off. I got a time of 51 minutes and 13 seconds, which is almost 2 minutes faster than the last 10K that I ran. And my average pace was 8:15, which is about 19 seconds faster than my pace per mile of the last 10K. Now, that last 10K was the Turkey Trot in November. It might not seem like a lot to you, but again, let me emphasize the fact that the weather and the running conditions were just terrible. It was a turnaround, a down and back. And at the turnaround, all of a sudden, the whole way down, you didn't realize the wind was kind of with you a little bit. And on the way back, it was head on. You're going uphill on ice, head on wind. There were literally times where I thought to myself, there's no possible way for me to propel my body forward any faster. I don't know how I could have possibly done it. There was one stretch of running that I think maybe we hit like 50 yards. It was kind of a tunnel area. So it was shielded from any of the precipitation the night before. It was amazing, and right at the end I thought, oh man, this is what my legs feel like when I run. And then that ended, and it was back to the ice. I came in third overall. There were 73 runners for the 10K. There were about 62, I think, for the 10-mile. Purportedly, there were 400 that had signed up for it. I think a lot of people just didn't show up because the conditions were so very bad. So that being said, I improved my personal record in spite of any injuries that I had, in spite of running on a sheet of ice and almost falling 4 times, and trust me, plenty of people fell multiple times. All that to say, it was a very successful race, and it got me excited for the next ones.
Three, 2, 1. Have a great race, guys. Again, this is just the 10K, just the 10K. The 10-mile is coming up next. This is the 10K. Please be safe out there.
Guys, we finished the Chicago Perfect 10.
Yeah.
This is Sarah. Sarah's in the speech pathology program at Northwestern for me. I probably sound like I have to start through because my mouth is so cold.
So cold.
I ran the 10K.
I ran the 10-mile.
And we finished third.
And second.
Sarah is wicked fast.
Well, so is she.
I don't know about that. What were some of the challenges, Sarah?
Well, that was the iciest run I've ever had in my whole life.
Yeah,
there was a little bit of wind. By a little bit, I mean a lot. The whole last leg.
It was basically a sheet of ice running into the wind on the way back.
Maybe hardest race I've ever run in my life, I would say.
but we did it. So now we're just waiting for Allie, who you met in a previous video, to cross. She's also running the 10 mile. Hopefully she'll finish it alive. So we'll check in after that. Sarah's asking if the winners get anything.
With no closing costs or application
She came in
fees,
second.
flexible payment options, and
And I came in
continuous
third.
access to available credit. Now, Kate and Peter are busy celebrating the kitchen of their dreams, toasting to the money they
They're
saved.
gonna send them to us later.
Ooh!
They said there's no award ceremony because it's too cold and nobody wants to wait around for that. So we can have our own award ceremony when we get them in the mail.
Freaking Allie, oh well. Waiting for Allie.
Yay!
Push it out, Elwell! Push it out! Yay! Good work! We finished!
Yay! I'm cold.
I'm cold too. And
Tired.
and now it's like a 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock?
I don't even
9
know.
o'clock, I think?
9:45.
9:45, and as you can see, it's sunny, there's no wind, everything's
The ice is gone.
everything's
No wind.
dry, which is not the conditions we ran in. But we all finished it,
Yay.
and now we're gonna go eat.
Yay.
Speaking of the next races, Allie and I have decided to run 3 more. I have the bug a little bit now. Now, whether or not to say that's going to carry over to the marathon bug, I'm not 100% sure. I'm definitely running the Chicago 2016 Marathon. Please don't think that you've been watching these videos or following me for no reason. I will run the marathon come hell or high water. I don't know how many I'll run after it. That's TBD, but I'm definitely really loving the process of training for it right now and getting to run these smaller races in the meanwhile. I've run 3 so far, all 10Ks, but early May I'm going to be running the Quarryman Challenge, which is in a kind of a suburby town of Chicago. Allie's going to be on that with me. It's a 10-mile race. It's going to be the only non-10K I've ever run, so I'm really excited for that. That's, like I said, that's 3 weeks out, so I've got some training to do, but I'm pretty confident I could go out now and run a half-decent 10-mile race for myself. 4 weeks after that, we're going to be running the North Shore Classic Half Marathon in Highland Park, about 40 miles north of where I am right now. That's where I actually ran the Turkey Trot last year. It's a really nice area. It has a little bit of hillage, so it'll be some fun training. And then 6 weeks after that is the Rock and Roll Half Marathon in Chicago. Now, I didn't really need to run another half marathon, but the deal was that if Allie ran the 10-mile Quarryman Challenge with me, I would run that half marathon with her. So, yeah, that's it. I got a 10-mile and 2 half marathons coming up in the next few months. Really excited about all of them, and excited for the half marathons, specifically the second one, because although it's going to be really friggin' hot, it's going to be a nice, I like having these kind of doubled up sequential same distance races because it's nice to see the progress I have. So far I've only been moving up. My first 10K I ran was 56 minutes and then 53 something and now 51:19. Looking forward to having a 10 mile, a half marathon, and then seeing how I can improve upon that time for the half marathon after. A kind of exciting time for me now to have these milestones coming up and see where it goes. So check back next week as the training continues, and yeah, maybe I'll see you out there. And see where it goes.